Books.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, live. Okay.
We are live. Hey, Kayla here from My Vegan Dreams. I'm so excited to be here with this amazing coach and animal rights activist. And this is someone that you guys are just going to like. I'm so excited to ask him questions, and I want you guys to ask questions too. So if you have any questions for him, he has been training. This is Jordan David, and you might know him as Conscious Muscle. So welcome, Jordan. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah, and for you guys, if you don't know Jordan, he has coached upwards of 4,000 people on getting healthy, getting fit, and getting to be. I mean, as you can see, he is very muscular. So
I mean, I can't even fit in my square, so.
I know. Well, thank you so much, Jordan, for being on. So good.
No, you're welcome.
That's awesome. And guys, as you're popping on, say hi in the comments so we know that you're watching, and if you have any questions for Jordan. But I'm really excited. So Jordan, I don't even know your story actually, like how you got started being like what inspired you to be vegan.
Okay, so over 6 years ago, I was doing primarily personal training as opposed to online. And two clients I trained every morning, a husband and wife, for over a year straight, every morning. I mean, I'd be at their house by 5 in the morning, and we'd train their asses off, right? After close to the year mark, the wife, Susan, went vegan. And me and John, her husband, were not about that. We're typical meatheads, so we laughed at her, we ridiculed her. Like, we were not mean, but we were really giving her a hard time. So finally one day she's like, all right, smartass, if you can give me a page paper on why veganism is bad for my health or wrong for me to do, I'll give you $500 and I won't be vegan. But if you find out I'm right, you got to try it. I'm like, absolutely, right? I'm like, I know nutrition. No one's going to mess me up on this. So I did my due diligence. I looked online everywhere. I scoured the internet, read articles, looked at all the data, like the China study, and I couldn't find anything wrong with veganism. So it turned out like, wow, this is the best thing for my health. The animals, the environment, and it was hard to accept because it was questioning everything I've been conditioned to believe my entire life, especially with like bro science and bodybuilding, like you need protein, bro, and meat and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, after I found out what it could do for your body and health, I started getting into the animal rights aspect of it. Learned, I always turned a blind eye to it, and I think most of us do, but I really opened my eyes to factory farming and slaughterhouses. And after that, there was just literally no looking back. You know what I mean? None. So that's kind of how the journey into vegan fitness and nutrition and animal rights began.
Wow, that's awesome. So like, did you watch any documentaries or were you just Googling? Like, how did you find all of that information?
Yeah, first and foremost was Googling, and then I saw Forks Over Knives, which was amazing for health. That really gave me a good perspective on that and how it affected cholesterol as well as all of the other diseases. And I say dis-ease, right, because you're not at ease, and then the right kind of diet puts you at ease. And then I started watching Earthlings, could not finish it. For sure could not finish it. Terrible. I mean, I recommend everyone watch it, but like, I can watch scary movies, I can watch gore, I can't watch, like, this stuff is beyond horror, what happens. So didn't finish that. And then I haven't seen Game Changers yet. I need to see that.
What?
Yeah, I know. Like, I know it for sure. Patrick Baboumian, I'm a big fan of his, so I got to get on that. And then I saw, what else? Vegucated and What the Health. I said What the Health, sorry. It was called The Beautiful Truth, I'm sorry, where they talk about Gerson therapy and all of that kind of stuff for, like, healing cancer. I'm not saying it is, right? You can't technically say that, but yeah, so those were the documentaries.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't watched Earthlings, but I've heard the same thing. That is
you haven't?
No, I know.
If there's ever a night where you want to like be really sad, angry, depressed, cry, throw up, I would watch it if I were you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I know you're obviously really health conscious, where that's definitely something that I fall short in because, for me, I think it was just all of the animal rights stuff. And for you, like when you started that transition, was it an easy transition for you to go from eating a whole bunch of meat and eggs and to being vegan?
So it was challenging in the sense where I didn't know what to do, right? Because I was eating a ton of meat. I mean, a lot of meat, pounds a day. But like I said, when it came to the animal rights, there was no looking back. So I made it work. Like I ate whatever I could find that was vegan, and I will admit I lived off of, tofu, seitan, Beyond Meat. Like I lived off meat substitutes. Fortunately, when Beyond Meat was like a startup, they were reaching out to influencers. They gave me like a million coupons for free burgers and stuff. So it's every day for me. So in reference to your question, I found the transition easy because of the reason I was doing it, the motivation. Like I'm not as militant about it anymore because I realize, it's the relationships we cultivate with others that will elicit change. So if I'm like, F you, you don't want to hear what I have to say. But if I meet you where you're at, right? Mm-hmm. So because of the animals, it was super easy. I think if I were doing it for just health, right? I know it sounds silly, but I don't think, you'd be as steadfast because it's your health. You don't care about yourself usually as much as you care about others and what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, you'll give away your last dollar because it helps this person out more than you, or however you want to put it.
Yeah, for sure. I totally feel that. So when you were like in that transition, did you just go like, hey, like I'm done, like game over, like we're just doing this? Or was it like a transition for you from like stopping eating meat, you gave up steak? How did you do that?
It's like Spider-Man, right? It was a blessing and a curse. Like I had the knowledge and I'm like, I don't have good balance. I'm working on balance in my life. I'm 0 or 100. There's no in between, right? So I was like, F it. I'm 100. I didn't care. Like if I had to eat like vegan protein bars all day, like, and I didn't know, bro, I was making shakes loaded with like kale and also like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like there'd be a pound of kale in a cup with like a little bit of protein powder. But it's like anything, right? You do your due diligence. You watch a few YouTube videos. You buy a recipe book. And you do what I did. I went on Instagram and started following people that were vegan, that were promoting it. And I would DM people and ask questions, right? Like even as a coach, I tell people, I'm here to help you, right? So even if you don't coach with me, if you have a question about something, reach out. It doesn't cost anything to ask a question. Now, if you tell me to sit down and write out your entire diet, yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I guess that answers it, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I think it's so awesome when people can go from like, just like, hey, we're doing it and do it. For me, it was not that way. It was like months of like slowly transitioning from it. Okay. So, but yeah, so when people are like, yeah, but I think at any point you just have to make that commitment. For me, it was like, I was at the point where I was like almost vegan, and you just have to commit. And after you commit, like you said, it's what you're going to do. So
there's nothing wrong with that. Like, right. Like any journey, it's about progress, not perfection. I mean, one of the things that irks the hell out of me is when someone's trying to transition and let's say it takes months and then you have some of these vegan groups or whatever you want to call them, like F you, vegetarian's terrible. You're a vegetarian. You're a part of the problem. Screw. And I'm like thinking like, dude, if you're trying to get someone to go full vegan, a little bit of encouragement. It's like, hey, you're doing great. Why don't you replace this cheese? Try this, try follow your heart, or follow, try Devo Life instead of like, screw you, you're a part of the problem. Like it irritates me so badly. Yeah. You're turning people away for sure. Like vegans sometimes give the vegan movement a bad name.
Yeah, I totally agree. So many people are like, oh, you're not like a pushy vegan. And then, some people are like, oh, well, if you're not pushy, then you're not doing anything. And just like, it's crazy. So, and you've done a lot of vegan activist work yourself, right? You've been on stages. I've seen you talk about it a lot. What has your experience been like spreading that message?
It's always received very well, but I'm nervous as hell. I'm not a good public speaker. Like I'm like so social and open and talkative on Instagram, right? And social media, but in person, I'm nervous as hell. But like, I know what I'm saying, and for me, it's truth, right? So you just share your truth, you talk. I find people are super receptive to it, right? Even like meathead bodybuilders or whatever are super receptive to it. I've never had anyone be unkind or disrespectful or a jerk in person. I mean, online, people, talk a lot of mess, right? Like keyboard warriors, but I've never had a problem having a dialogue with a human being in person about it ever.
Yeah.
I think people, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally. I totally know what you mean. That's awesome. So we're getting some questions on here. So it looks like, so you have your own line of protein powders and supplements, right?
Correct. Yeah. I have a supplement partner. Oh, sorry. I have a supplement company with a partner of mine, Marco, who's a vegan power lifter. Kind of crazy fact. He might be one of the strongest vegans in the entire world. Not even exaggerating. Like, not kidding. I'll tell you about him after. But we started this company, right? Because one, he's in the supplements. He knows formula. And before he was vegan, we talked about this, and he agreed he would go vegan if we started this. The day we started, he went pure vegan, cold turkey, like
Whoa.
100%. And he's won competitions. Like, he's done his best. The guy's like under 200 pounds, and he deadlifts 800 pounds. Like, it's insane. So, yeah. So me and him started the company. We wanted to come out with a high quality protein, high quality supplements that are a little different. Like, we learned, like, some supplement companies have mother companies that are not vegan, that are like, I think like Vega is owned by Coca-Cola or something like that. Don't quote me, but like stuff like that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you know who owns Vega, dude?
Vega.
No, okay. It's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, you know what? This is vegan founded, vegan owned, vegan started, and we have like a foundation, like anything conscious muscle, we donate. So 10% of all profits from the supplements go to animal sanctuaries. And I've seen other companies say that, but they don't share it. So what we do every year, we share the amount of money we're donating and call out the sanctuaries so they can verify. It's important. So last year we donated $4,000 to 4 different sanctuaries, and we're hoping to do more this year. So protein, pre-workout, BCAAs, 100% non-GMO, no artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, and it's cmsupplements.com. Plug.
So, okay, question about pre-workout. So, like, because I've never taken a pre-workout drink. What is the benefits of that?
So our pre-workouts are more fitness and bodybuilding styled. So we have one with stimulant, which is the caffeine, but there's all sorts of amino acids. All right. And the main premise of this is, one, energy. Two, it helps elicit a pump, which is oxygen flow. And when you have more oxygen flow into your muscles, you have better muscular endurance because, again, you have better oxygen flow, which also means you have better nutrient flow. So while you're lifting, amino acids, nutrients are better fed to the muscles. Therefore, you recover, you have more endurance, and it gives you crazy energy. I mean, best way to explain it is, you ever go to the gym and you see someone and their veins are really ripping out? So this stuff amplifies, like, your veins. Like, if I have normal veins, they'll start ripping out like garden hoses. So that's the pump. The other one is the same premise, but stimulant free. So I know if I work out late at night, I don't want all that caffeine. So I take that. And again, you're opening up your oxygen flow, you're opening up your nutrient flow, and it helps you have an overall better workout.
Wow. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Awesome. So we have Jin on here that's asking any advice you would give to an ex-vegan that goes back to eating animal products due to digestive issues.
Okay. Well, I mean, I had a friend who had this issue, and he went and had his allergy tested and found out he had certain specific allergens. So he just strayed away from them, whether it's gluten, whether it's soy. Another thing a lot of vegans have problem with is, they'll go to a certain kind of diet and it'll be super high in fibrous, and they're not used to it. So it's hard to digest, right? So taking a digestive enzyme with each meal, people should do regardless for digestive and gut health. But there's always that, and there's trial and error. Like, if I was having a lot of issues when I transitioned, I would do an elimination diet and start with different things and see how I'm feeling. I mean, it's so important. Like I said, it's so important to me to make it work for morality's sake, right? And I'm not dogging on anyone who's having an issue. Issues are issues, right? If you feel like shit all the time, you got to figure it out. But I would suggest doing more due diligence and even seeking medical help. Find out what's going on. Find out what your allergies are.
Yeah, really good advice. And so for you, like, how much? I know one of the big questions that everyone asks is how much protein. So, like, how much protein do you recommend, and what types of protein do you recommend for people?
All of it. Just take it all the protein you can get. So, of course, I recommend Conscious Muscle Supplements protein powder. So real talk, when it comes to any protein powder, regardless of brand, right? You want it to be a matrix of proteins, like, let's say, quinoa mixed with amaranth, mixed with pea, mixed with perhaps hemp, if you can. A lot of proteins don't have hemp because you can get tested for it in the military and whatnot. Still, shows up as marijuana. So one, getting a blended protein. What this means is that protein has the same amount of protein and amino acids as whey protein. So you're literally getting rid of the carcinogens and cholesterol and getting all of the benefits. I love things like non-GMO tofu, tempeh, which is fermented tofu. It's great for digestive health. and Beyond Meat, Gardein, all of these meat substitutes. Now, even though they're highly processed and not optimal for health and well-being, there's got to be a balance. Like you can eat some, I would say if you're eating 51% whole foods and 49% processed, you're still good. You're leaning towards more whole foods and alkalinity. So I would say all of those, you know, and again, tofu, tempeh, seitan, all of them have a complete and abundant amino acid profile, meaning you're getting the same as a chicken breast in seitan. So again, if you can have the same nutrients and results, right, with the same amount of protein, actually even better for you, right, because it's not acidic, why would you not? An animal doesn't have to die, you forego the cholesterol, and your body can actually digest it appropriately.
Yeah. Well, that's really good to know. I see another question on here too is what do you do like for someone who's having trouble getting vegan gains? So
that's a pretty easy one. I mean, because human biology is human biology, right? So I would find out what they're eating and how they're training, and based on their bodily statistics and goals, there's formulas to figure out where their calories should be. But based on client experience, I can look at someone's stats and body and pretty much, you know, tell them exactly what they need to do. So it's just a matter of calculating their calories and their macros and say, okay, person A, you should have this many calories comprised of this much protein, fat, and carbs. Here's your menu. This is exactly what you're going to eat. Boom, there you go. And if they're trying to build muscle, you just have to make sure they have a higher volume resistance training routine. The only way you're going to build muscle is fiber recruitment. So when you lift weights, you break muscle down. When you eat food, protein breaks down into amino acids, which then repair your muscle. So it's a two-step process. You can't build without tearing down. So no secrets, nutrition and diet, just like a regular bodybuilding diet. That's it.
That's awesome. So, and you were bodybuilding before you were vegan, right?
For sure, yeah. For quite a while. I mean, since I was young, like a teenager, but I'd say I started taking seriously at like 20, 21, and I'm 33. After going vegan, for sure, recovery time got better, sleep got better, energy got better, digestion got better. So it was just a win overall, like even performance-wise. Like you literally feel better.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I know. I hear so many vegan athletes say that, and it's just amazing to me because the stereotypical vegan being like skinny, malnourished stereotype is so not true.
That's 100% what I thought people were like before I went vegan. I'm like, I need to like weigh 98 pounds and hug trees. But no, it's far from that, right? It's far from that. People with all sorts of bodies, right? From all sorts of walks of life.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to working out, I know that I've tuned into some of your IGTV videos, and one of the things that I hear people ask all the time is they're unmotivated or they don't know where to start. What would you say to that person?
So there's a lot to take into account there, right? We all have different motivations for things, right? So my biggest thing, whether it's fitness or anything else, you have to get a piece of paper and write out your goals, right? That's your map, right? If you don't have a map, if you don't have a direction, you'll never get where you're going. You're like a boat without a sail. You're just going to wander. But if you know what your goals are, you can outline them on paper and take it a step further and write why. Like why? Like I even put on my bathroom mirror sometimes when I need extra motivation, like affirmations. I put like, why is it important for me to get fit? I mean, everyone's reasons are different. You know, for me, it's to be healthy, be happy, and have a sense of self-confidence and self-worth. I know you should love yourself regardless of anything, right? But if you're not doing what's good for you, it's going to be really hard to love yourself because you do take care of yourself. So, you know, self-love is super important, and it all falls into the same thing. So know your reasons, like what are your goals and why are they your goals, and remind yourself of it every day. Put a freaking reminder in your phone to pop up like at 3 p.m. You know, I want to look good. I want to feel good. I mean, as shallow as it is, I'm sure for some people, they just want to look good on the beach. And if that gets you to the gym, focus on that, right? Until your perspective changes. So you just got to figure out why it's important. And I'll be honest, the best workouts I have are the days where I feel like crap and I don't want to go to the gym. It's that much more rewarding after. Like you walk out with some serious satisfaction, right? I'm sure you've done that, right? Where you don't want to run and you go for it, and afterwards you're like, that was like the best run ever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100% on that. So you mostly do gym workouts. What, like how often would you recommend for people to work out?
It depends on anyone's schedule, right? Because you get the right balance with nutrition and nutrition and training. So I've had people work out 3 days a week with tremendous results. But I would say if you can do 5 days, 5 days is optimal. right? For more advanced, you can do, let's say, 5 to 6 days of resistance training in conjunction with cardio. Like there's little tricks. Like if you go into the gym, let's say, and do 30, 45 minutes of weights, you want to do your cardio after your weight training because the energy you use for lifting weights is called glycogen, which is stored carbohydrates. So when you lift, you deplete your glycogen, and then body fat's more readily available for energy. So you're tapping into that. So there's all sorts of little nuances, but basically, whenever you can get it in. I don't care if it's a 20-minute walk. Everything matters.
That's awesome. Yeah, I need to get on that gym level. So like, what did you do with quarantine and not being able to go to the gym? What?
Got lazy, out of shape. No, I have. Fortunately, like a year ago, I bought a bunch of equipment. Not a ton, but a barbell, some plates, and a few kettlebells. So I did train from home. I stepped up my cardio game because I'm going to be honest, I don't like cardio. I don't like jogging, but I got more into cardio, more so for cardiovascular health and endurance. And then fortunately, the gym's open here in Florida. And like I was so desperate for the gym. I'm very lucky. One of my closest friends, him and his family own a gym, so I was able to go there early in the morning and train while the gym was closed. So that was really cool. That was super convenient. Like I would just go every morning at 6 with my friend and train, and then unlock the gym, lock the gym up, and leave. It was great.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
I needed it for my mental sanity. I need the gym. I need it.
Yeah. That's how it is too for me. Is like working out. It's like great. Like the results are great, but it's the mental clarity and just like you just feel better.
Always.
Yeah. Let's see here. So when do you do you ever get asked about keto? Because that's something that I hear a lot of guys doing these days is keto.
So the thing about keto is, right, you can shed body fat with it. You can learn to adapt to it, but then you're adapting your body from using carbohydrates for energy into fats for energy. And you got to keep in mind your central nervous system, your motor skills, everything's fueled by carbohydrates. Your brain, everything's by glucose. You know what I mean? So with ketogenics, it's like, one, it puts you in an acidic state. So it's not healthy. It's not healthy by any means. Question me if I'm wrong, but if you look into the data, it's not good for overall health and well-being, just like when it's meat, right? It's great to shed body fat, but if you do that diet and let's say you're like, okay, I've lost my 20 pounds, I'm happy, and you go back to a normal diet, your body will rebound and gain the majority of weight back, because not only are you gaining fat from carbohydrates and glycogen spilling over into fat, you're now retaining a massive amount of glycogen and water. So I'm not for it. I'm not a proponent of it. I don't prescribe it to any of my clients. Now, you can do it. I just don't recommend it. Yeah.
That's really good to know. I know I bought like a vegan keto book when it all came out, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to try this. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this forever.
No, yeah. And there's some great arguments for it, right? But for results, at what cost,
Yeah, for sure. So this is a personal question. So like, how do you know when it's time to hire a coach or a trainer?
Sure. So if you have specific goals, what I would do is I would write down your goal on a piece of paper and put it in a drawer. If you're not any closer to it in 1 to 2 months, there's an issue with you doing it on your own, right? Like even Mr. and Miss Olympia have coaches. Professional bodybuilders have nutrition coaches, training coaches, posing coaches. We all need an outside push. For all the people that see all these Instagram influencers and all these people that are super freaking motivated on a level of 10 every day, it's not real life. They miss the gym. They have motivation. They look at other people for motivation, and they have coaches. I can tell you, I know a number of professionals and influencers that utilize the coach, and they're not hiding it. It's just, it is what it is. So if you're not yielding the results you desire, 1, 2, if you just don't know how to eat and train, get a coach instead of guessing and trying. Pay whatever it is, get that coach and get your menu and get your training. Now you have a foundation to build upon. So the idea is if you hire a coach, even for a month, let's say it takes 2 months, right? The idea is for you to learn nutrition and training so much so that you can fly solo and say bye to your coach. That's what a good coach wants. It's for you to know what they know and not need them anymore.
That's awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to talk to you after this because
Let's go.
we got to do this.
You got the My Vegan Dreams discount. You can use it twice.
Yes.
Let's go.
Cool. Well, gosh, there's just like so much. I'm so excited that you're on here to share everything. It's, guys, if you're watching this and if you don't follow Jordan on Instagram or Facebook, definitely follow him. He posts really inspirational posts, animal posts of him with piggies, which is so cool. And he's an all-around good guy. So and because he is so awesome, he gave us a discount code. So like me, who needs to get some coaching, you can actually get a discount through our link. So I'll actually put that in the comments. I believe it is VDream15. VDream15. So if anyone's watching, if you want to put that in the comments, that would be awesome. But yeah, check out his stuff. He's got some really cool shirts. I love how they say like killing workouts and not animals. So cool. Just love everything that you're doing and really appreciate you taking the time to be on here.
For sure. Likewise. I appreciate the opportunity. I think our audiences can get a lot from one another because you guys are always posting great stuff about activism, animal rights, and a lot of funny stuff too. But you know what I mean? It's super informative what you're doing. So I'm glad I can be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jordan. Thanks so much. And if anyone's watching, definitely comment below. Say thank you for Jordan for being on. And if you have any questions, I'm sure he'll be in the comments. So drop them down below and we will chat with you guys soon.
Cool. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.